Good morning. My name's Jim Adams, and I'm the chair of the Scholarship Committee. And, I was having a great morning this morning, and it got even better at about 6:45. I was walking into the building, and I saw my old boss, Dave McKeon, who I haven't seen in a couple years. And the reason we're here is because of Dave McKeon. I can guarantee you one thing today, that in an hour and a half, you're going to be in a better mood than when you came in here. And if you're not, it's your own fault. A little bit of a history about the program. It started about 40 years ago with a woman named Barbara Silver approached Dave about doing a scholarship breakfast. And it started with, I think, 3 or 4 different scholarships, like the Asher Scholarship, the Haley Scholarship, the Sonia Scholarship. And now it has grown to 23 scholarships this year. And over the last 40 years, we have given away over $1 million. And what's exciting about today, we're going to have a great group of kids. And, in the public eye sometimes, we always look at the negatives. And it's so great that today we're going to be looking at the positives. And an event like this can't take place unless we have some sponsors. And I'd like to introduce some of the sponsors today. We have our premier sponsor, Rollstone Bank and Trust. Hold your applause to the end. Recipient ticket sponsor, Great Wolf Lodge. Program sponsor, North Central Mass Development Corporation. The gift sponsor is the Fitchburg State University. The centerpiece sponsor is Leominster Credit Union. Supporting sponsors are AIS Inc. in Leominster and Steel Fab in Fitchburg. And we're going to move this program along, so let me get right into introducing a few dignitaries that are here today. We have State Representative Natalie Higgins. Thank you, Natty. This guy is always late, so I'm not sure he's here. It's Leominster Mayor Dean Mazzarella. Is he here? No. He'll get here around 7:15. Fitchburg Mayor Sam Squalia. In Leominster City Council, Brandon Robbins. In representing Senator John Cronin, a good friend of mine, Beth Walsh. Just a little bit about how this program works is the committee gets together in January and we kind of talk about the ground rules of the application process. Then the applications go out to the schools and they send them off to the students. And then we get together and we grade them in 5 or 6 different categories. It can be from grades to community service. And then we send all those results back to the chamber and then they tabulate them and they come up with the winners that are here today. And, but the thing is, even the ones that aren't winners, technically, are really winners too. So they do a great job. Just a scholarship committee at this time. Again, I'm Jim Adams from Enterprise Bank. We have Heidi Wagner, the Organized Duck. Wendy Chartrand from Health Alliance Guild. Patrick Ellis from Enterprise Bank and Trust Company. Wendy Chartrand from Health Alliance Guild. Melissa Kuhl from Rollstone Bank and Trust. And Tara Lapis from Ascension Appraisals, Dr. Robert Lewin, who's been with us since the beginning, from the Lewin Scholarship, and Christine Sargent from Foster Healy Real Estate. Just give them a round of applause. About 3 or 4 years ago, I always took this as a great program, but we've added a speaker that has made this an excellent program. She'll give you a message that it doesn't matter if you're a senior in high school or if you're a senior citizen, you're going to get something out of what Maria says. Maria Valquez is a 2-time TED Talk and award-winning keynote speaker and author, storyteller, and an empowered life coach. Whether sharing her life experience and knowledge through impactful talk workshops, leadership training, life coaching, or videos, Maria uses stories to bring encouragement, education, and love to the empowered others to get out of their own way and break free from hindering thoughts or beliefs so that they can live amazing lives and leave their unique and positive mark on this world. She knows that no matter where you come from, what you've been through, or what you have done, love, connection, and personal responsibilities can change every area of your life. She knows because it has worked for her, and she likes to remind others that she's not an exception to the rule. If she can do it, you can do it too. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Maria to the stage.
Good morning. Hold on. I have all the things for my hands today. Is this on? Oh, hello. Good morning. So they have me on a pack here, and they have me with a mic here, and then I got a clicker here, and I'm like, y'all, I talk with my hands. So I'm going to try my best to keep this mic to my face so you can all hear me. Good morning, everybody. Oh, look, that's me. She's so cute. Stop it. Okay, so today's talk is called Get Up. This has to be my absolute favorite talk to give. I just have to say, I'm distracted because out the corner of my eyes, I'm seeing my own wings here. And this suit has a blazer, but it's too cute to cover, you know, so we're just gonna, hold on, let me just get them ready. Okay, speaking of getting up, the first thing that I wanna say is that we are currently on unceded Nipmuc territory. This is an important thing for me to acknowledge the land that we're on, because I find that when I acknowledge the privileges that are given to me, I show up differently. Rather than show up in a space and say, you owe me, I show up in a space and say, this land was given to me, I have certain privileges, how can I contribute to the space? And the thing that I appreciate about the ancestors is that they understood partnership. In this room right now, this is a great representation of partnership. So thank you for that. And then the second thing that I want to say thank you for is for you showing up, first of all, this early. And secondly, I said we should not get up this early unless we're going on vacation or giving out money. Oh, wait, we're giving out money. So thank you for showing up, and thank you for your time and your energy. Your time and your energy are your two most valuable assets. You can get more money. There's money from other places. You can make more money, you can buy more stuff, you can do more things. But once you use your time and energy, you will never get those back. So thank you for choosing to show up and share your time and energy with me. And my hope is that I'm gonna give you, that's a lie, it's not a hope. I'm gonna give you something in exchange. And you can put it in your pocket and use it in 5 minutes, or you can use it in 5 years, but I promise you, this is something that's gonna benefit you. So thank you for showing up and spending your time with me. Oh, look, this is some of my criteria. Oh my gosh, she's so amazing. Okay, enough. Let's get into story time. I'm gonna put this down. That's how serious this is. So when I was growing up, we grew up in a really poor community. I grew up in the Bronx. We were like what I like to call powdered milk poor. So if anybody does not know what that is, consider yourself privileged. It's when the milk is powder and you add water and you have to beat it and beat it and beat it. And even then, it's clumpy. And so when you drink it, you're like, okay, so that's how we grew up. We were powdered milk poor, and we had a lot of issues growing up. Personally speaking, there was a lot of abuse growing up in my neighborhood and in my family and in my life. You name a type of abuse, I can check that box. Let that sit for a second. You name the type of abuse and I can check that box. Okay, so I grew up in poverty, in a drug-infested, violent community, and then there was a lot of abuse happening in my life. So when I was in the 2nd grade, this teacher came strolling into our classroom, and she was magical to me because she stood in a way that I had never seen a woman who looked like me stand. And she was wearing this long wrap skirt, so it almost looked like she was floating as she was moving across the floor. And I thought, I don't know who she is, but I need to know her. And then she told us all that she was having a free after-school dance program, and any student who wanted to join could participate. We just had to get our parents to sign this paper. Anybody want the form? I was like, yes, please, me. You're saying less time at home where it's abusive, less time in the community where it's violent? Yeah, give me that paper right now, right? And I didn't necessarily know in my 2nd grade brain, my 8-year-old brain, that that's what I was looking for, but I knew I needed to not be home, and I knew that I needed to be someplace else. So I raised my hand, I got the paper, I hurried home, I was like, Ma, they're doing a free dance program, blah, 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 please sign the paper. She's like, no, crumple, threw it away. You have chores, you have to help me with the kids. I was the oldest girl of 4 kids at the time. She said, you have to help me with the kids, you have chores, you have your summer reading, you have to keep your grades up. Okay. Next day I went back to school, I saw this teacher float by, I went and found her and I said, can I get another form? And she's like, yeah, here. So she gives me another form. I go home, I said, Ma, please sign the form, like I'll keep up with my chores. She's like, no. You have things to do around the house, you have to help me first, you have to, okay. And then the next day I went back to school and I was like, yeah, I don't know what happened to that form. Can I get another form? And she's like, I'm just gonna leave a pile here and you just go ahead and keep taking them. Every day I kept taking them. You know how relentless kids can be. Ma, please, Ma, please, Ma, please. And my mother, ooh, she's hard-headed, just like me. She crumpled it up, throw it away, crumple it up, throw it away. And then eventually she's like, fine, fine, give me the paper. And I was like, yes, right? So she signs it. She says, if your grades slip, if your grades slip or you don't help out like you're supposed to around the house, I'm pulling you out of dance. I was like, yes, ma'am. So I take this paper in. They're like, great, dance is starting in like a week or two. First day of dance class, we all line up on a wall. She has everybody lined up, and she says, walk across the room. And we all walked across the room. And she was like, no, do it again. What? So she's, do it again. So we turned around, we walked across the room. And she's like, nope, you're doing it wrong, do it again. What do you want from us, lady? We're walking. Obviously, we got from one side of the room to the other. And she said, why are you all walking like this? And we were like, well, I don't know. And it wasn't until much later that I realized, because that was safe. You make yourself small in a community, in a space, and you try to make yourself invisible, and that's a safer way to live. And she said, stand up, back straight, shoulders down, chin lifted. And we all did this posture that felt really uncomfortable and really awkward, at least it did in my body. And she said, now walk across the room. And I was like, do I deserve to walk like this? I remember thinking that when I was little, like, this feels weird. I don't know if I should be walking like this. What will people think about me? Will people see me? I don't want people to see me. It was so bizarre, but everything in me knew this is where I needed to be. So I started my dance journey, and whew, let me tell you, it was all I could think about. It became my salvation, literally, from the life that I was living, and it saved me from so much stuff. It was to the point when we would do groceries, right? Because mind you, there's a trail of ducklings behind my mom. So part of my responsibility was to push one of the shopping carts, and I would like as I'm pushing the shopping cart. And when she's like, okay, everybody wait. I'm like, we're gonna wait right here. And like, it became everything. Like, I could not dance. Anytime I heard a beat, which you hear all the time in the Bronx, cars driving by, I was like, oh, this is good practice, this is good practice. Everything was practice, right? Dance was everything. So fast forward 2 years, I am fully immersed. I had gotten a short scholarship to dance with Alvin Ailey when I was 9. It was everything. I'm like, I'm gonna be a prima ballerina. Oh my gosh, everybody watch out. And then when I was about 10 years old, she ran a summer dance program. So we had our little lunches. We're sitting on the front steps of the school, and where everybody's relaxing, having their lunch. And we had one basketball court in the entire neighborhood. Everybody came to the one, and it was attached to my school. And there was one handball court. And it wasn't even like a real basketball court. It was like a part of the hoop, because the rest of the hoop was broken. So everybody would come up there to play. And we were sitting on the front steps of the school, and all these kids are coming, and this kid came by, and he was like, Maria, your sister made a swing. And I'm like, stop it. She did, what? What are you talking about? Your sister built a swing, Maria. Everybody's been playing it on it all day. It's so much fun. Now, the reason why this is important is because where we grew up in the Bronx, we had never been to a park. Because the park that was up the street from my house, day or night, you go to that park, bad things would happen. And then when we did get to see the park in the winter, the slide had been carved into, so the metal was pulled up. So even if you tried to slide down, you'd probably tear up the backs of your legs. And where the swings were just chains dangling. There was no real park. So the idea, now I'm 10, of sitting on a swing, yes, please. First time I can remember, I want to get home real quick. I want to hurry up and get home. So when dance was over, I put on all my stuff, and I ran home. I busted in the door, bam, Ma, can I go play on the fire escape? It's like saying, can I play in the backyard? That wasn't a crazy request in New York, right? So I'm like, Ma, can I go play on the fire escape? And she's like, no. You got your chores, you got your summer reading, you know, this is her jam. So I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I do all my stuff, it's nighttime. I said, Ma, how about now? Can I go play on the fire escape? Again, not a strange request. That was our backyard. She's like, no, you gotta go to bed, you got dance in the morning. Fine. Now her bedroom, you go into her bedroom, and then there was my bedroom off of her bedroom. And my bedroom was like, not really a bedroom, because there wasn't a closet, it was barely a window. We had 2 sets of bunk beds for the 4 kids. And my younger sister would rotate, sometimes bed to bed. So my bed was right near a window. And where that window was the edge of the fire escape. So my friend from upstairs came downstairs. She gets on the edge of the fire escape. She's tapping on the window. I open the window. I'm like, what? What's up? It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. She's like, come out on the fire escape. Come play on the fire escape. And I said, are you crazy? The only way to get on the fire escape is to go around my mom's bed. And the window is on the side of the bed she sleeps on. You know that woman sleeps with a bat next to her bed. Like, again, we grew up in the Bronx, not crazy, right? So I was like, are you nuts? I'm not, no. And she's like, come on, Maria, when you gonna get a chance to play? Come outside on the fire escape. I said, that's so crazy. I'll try. So I opened the door. And you know, when you get to know living in a place for a while, you know where the creaks on the floor are. So it was very like, din, 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 din. Looking over, mom's still sleeping. I finally get my way around the side of her bed, and when I get to the side of her bed, I'm looking at her right there sleeping, I'm looking at the shiny bat, and I was like, I'm not getting my head split today. So I unlocked the window. Mind you where we are. When I opened the window, it was like, and I look, she's still sleeping. Oh my God, I think I'm meant to go on the fire escape. There's a metal cage on the window. I unlock it. She's still sleeping. I open that. She's still sleeping. I'm supposed to be on the fire escape. So I climb out. I close everything back up. I look through the window. She's still sleeping. Oh, it's supposed to be. All the gods want me on the fire escape playing. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I get up there, and when I get up there, this is what my sister did. Everybody knows what a fire escape is, yes? Okay, it's like the metal cage. Some kids are looking at me like, I'm sorry, what? So it's think Spider-Man hanging down. She pulls his mask and gives him a kiss. That thing he's hanging on, that's the fire escape. Okay, so I'm on the fire escape, and at the very top fire escape, the bar went all the way up. The side of the fire escape went all the way up. There were these bars. They had like little designs on them. My sister scaled that, tied a sheet to the bar that connected the fire escape to the building. A sheet, y'all. And I was like, this is genius. Why didn't we think of this before? So I scooch my little self into the swing, and I start swinging. And when I started swinging, you know that feeling when your stomach is in your throat and then your heart is in your feet? I didn't realize how much I love that feeling, right? So I'm swinging. I'm like, this is amazing. And my friend's like, we are having such a good time. I'm going to go get us some lemonade. You keep swinging, girl. Enjoy yourself. So she goes in to get us lemonade. I'm swinging. I'm swinging so high in the back that you come out the seat a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? And you're like, huh, and you swing forward. And I was like, oh, my God, I love this feeling. I thought dance felt alive. This feels alive, right? So I'm swinging. What I didn't know, what nobody knew, really, is that it was a sheet tied to a bar. And if hundreds of times kids are swinging on this throughout the course of the day, nobody thought, we should tighten that sheet. What I also didn't know was from the weight of kids constantly pumping on this sheet, the bar had broken off of the building. So the bar is broken. I can feel now when I'm on the backswing, this tug. And then it's too late. So I'm on the backswing, I see the bar, it's sliding down the building, it broke off of its connection from the building, and the sheet on my right side came undone. I swung up and over the outside of the fire escape. I'm holding onto a sheet. I'm hanging onto this sheet that's hanging to the fire escape. I can see my friend coming with the lemonades. She has a big smile on her face. It's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm out in the dark. She's in the light. So I can see her, but she can't see me. So I start screaming because my 10-year-old brain is not like, move your hands onto the bar and hold the fire escape. I'm just thinking, hold the sheet, don't let go of the sheet. So I see her coming, and all of a sudden I look up and the sheet came undone. All I know is, on the way down, the trim on the fire escape that I was on, I smashed my head, punctured my own brain with my broken skull. And then on the way down, our fire escape, we had a clothesline hook without a clothesline because we were powdered milk poor. So that clothesline hook hit my leg right there and ripped all the meat and the flesh from my leg. When I hit the bottom, because of the way that I hit the bottom, I landed on my left leg, tearing all the vertebrae and joints in my left knee, smashing back, broke my elbow, the bone protruded, crushed 7 vertebrae in my back, slammed my mouth shut, and broke all of my teeth. Bonus. The landlord, the superintendent of the building, used to have 2 pit bulls that they would feed them raw gunpowder mixed in their dog food because it made them a little bit more crazy, which also created protection for the building because people who were addicted to drugs would rob people through the broken windows in the fire escapes. So when I'm landed there in this pool of blood, this dog, her name was Princess Leia. Her buddy was Luke Skywalker. He died of brain damage. Princess Leia came over and thought either let me move her to protect her or let me move her for a snack. So I have her fang marks in my left foot from her dragging me across a pool of my own blood. So my friend comes out, sees the sheet blowing off in the wind, looks down, sees me laying in a pool of blood, drops the glasses. She starts screaming. This wakes up my mom. My mom looks out the window. She sees me, my friend, looking down. She looks down, sees me laying in a pool of blood, wakes up her husband at the time. He grabs the lamp, throws it at the dog, hits the dog. Thank God he played softball. The dog takes off. They run downstairs. They tell the superintendent what happened. The superintendent lets them in, and my mother's like, I thought you were dead. So she calls the ambulance, and the ambulance said, we don't come to your perimeter. Get her outside of the perimeter, and then we'll take her to the hospital. And my mother said, she fell off a 5-story building. I'm not a doctor, but I probably shouldn't move her. And they said, you don't have a choice. So my stepfather scoops me up, which probably wasn't the best plan, but the only plan that they had. And they get out to the front of the building, and they're like, oh my God, now what? So I called him Carlos. I don't really know his name, but there was a local drug dealer who always parked his Cadillac in front of the building, and he was out there having a cigarette. And he saw them carrying me, dripping in blood, and said to my mother, if you cover my back seat in trash bags, I'll drive you to the hospital, but I don't want her blood ruining my car. I'm not mad, because at least he drove us to the hospital. So my mom said she's ripping open these bags, these trash bags, covering the back of his car, and she's watching her daughter just drip blood everywhere. So they rushed me off to the hospital. When they got me to the first hospital, if you ever have a chance to have to go to the hospital in New York, never go to Bronx, Lebanon. You heard it here first. Don't ever go there. What they did was they sawed off the piece of bone that was protruding and just pushed it back in, so this arm is slightly shorter than this one. Gave me a half brace and an ace bandage. Said, she's fine, you can take her home now, after stapling my head shut and giving me 12 stitches in my leg. My mother's like, I think that needs more than 12 because it's still a gaping hole. And she said they were using a crochet type needle. They said, we can't waste stitches. My mother's like, how about you transfer her to a second hospital? When I woke up in the second hospital 3 days later, naked, because it turned out that all of my nerves were being fully activated and fully launched. I was in massive amounts of pain. They said, when we tried to put a sheet on you, you were screaming. And I'm like, but I was unconscious. And they're like, yeah, you were screaming. And that's when we realized, like, everything is fully active. You're in immense amounts of pain. Okay, so when I wake up in that hospital, I'm strapped to a back plate. I have a neck brace on. The side of my face is swollen with my own blood. The top of my head is completely shaved because they had to put in stitches. My arm's in half a cast. They left the cast the way that it was. My leg is in a full-on dial, and my foot is bandaged from the dog, bite mark on my leg. So I wake up like this. The doctor comes in, he picks up the clipboard, y'all, that's how old I am. He picks up the clipboard, flips through it, and says, so you're probably never gonna walk again, you definitely won't dance again, your mom said that was important to you, and you probably won't be able to have kids, and walked out of my room. And I remember crying to the point of dehydration. I remember that the nurses came in and was like, you really have to stop crying. We're giving you so many fluids. And I'm like, but he said I was never gonna dance again, because dance was my salvation. So fast forward like a couple of months, and I could finally wear clothes again, and everything didn't feel, like I could feel my blood moving through my body. It was weird, y'all. So like finally, I'm starting to get some feeling back. My legs are in atrophy. I have no movement. I'm strapped to this back plate, and they said, okay, this is gonna be your life now. And my mom, because of where I was located in upstate New York, and because of where she was with all these other kids at home, it wasn't like she could just pack up and get everybody and come and see me all the time. So for the total amount of time that I was in the hospital, she maybe was able to come about 5 times. Which turned out to be a blessing. So I'm laying there one day in the hospital, a couple of months in. I finally have clothes on. I see the wheelchair right here, and I was like, this can't be my life. And I hear, get up. And I was like, who's in my room? And then I heard it again, get up. And I was like, nope, somebody's in my room. And I heard it again, get up. And I'm like, I can't get up. Like, my leg is in the thing, and my back is in the strap, and I'm strapped to the thing, and I can't move my arm, and my neck, and my head, and my face. Get up. And I kept hearing this, like, get up, get up. And I was like, okay, I'll try, right? If it happened to get me on the fire escape. So I see the wheelchair, and I was like, right, the wheelchair's right here. So you know what? I'm gonna stand up, and if I could just stand up and like hold on to the wheelchair, it's gonna be magic, and then I'll prove to them. So I get up, no, I don't get up. I slide this leg over, and then I grab this one, I drag it, and I go to stand up, and I'm like, I'm gonna grip the wheelchair, and I'm just gonna balance myself, and a nurse is gonna walk by, and they're gonna see me and be like, it's America! miracle, and that's what's gonna happen, right? And so I do the thing, and I stand up, and I grab the wheelchair, and I went whoosh to the floor because the wheelchair wasn't locked, y'all. They didn't lock it. So I just kissed the floor, and I'm laying there, and the nurses come in. They said, Maria, oh my God, did you fall out of bed? And I said, no, I'm gonna dance again. And she said, oh, don't tell that to yourself. That spine will never dance again. And she went and got another nurse, and they got their little back things. They put me back in bed. A couple of hours later, I was like, get up. I kept hearing it. Okay. So I'm like, they locked the wheelchair this time because they're on to me. No, they didn't. Whew, I kissed the floor. And I was like, cool, we're just going to lay here. The next shift nurses came in. Maria, oh my gosh, what happened? Did you fall out of bed? No, I'm going to dance again. Don't tell that to yourself because other people will tell you who you can and cannot be based on what they think they know. So I said, okay. They put me back in bed. Next morning, what you think I did? I kept hearing get up. I'm like, I'm going to keep trying. And I do. They never locked the wheelchair. So it got to the point where I was doing this 3-4 times a day. The nurses were just coming in pairs with their back braces already on. They knew where they were going to find me on the floor. A new nurse came to cover one day. And I was like, listen, can you do me a favor? Can you scooch the TV that way a little bit? And she's like, but how are you going to see it? And I was like, no, it's fine. I like to watch it like that. And she did not know. And then when I was on the floor, I just had to turn my head. And then I could watch the TV because I knew I'd be there for a couple of hours until the next shift nurses came. And then finally, after like 2.5 weeks of doing this 3, 4, 5 times a day, just putting myself on the floor, like, no, I'm going to walk again. Finally, the nurses and the doctors are at my door, and they're arguing. And the nurse said, here's the thing. If you don't put her in physical therapy, we're not peeling her off of the floor. We're going to call you. You get a second person. You get a back brace, and you come pick her up off of the floor because this girl's not giving up. He stormed in my room, pulled that clipboard off, signed it, threw it on my bed, and said, don't say I didn't tell you so. And he stormed out. And I said, thank you. It took almost a year living in that hospital and then another hospital to learn how to walk again. I had to clear 48 stairs because the building that I lived in did not have an elevator. They said, you have to be able to withstand the pressure of pushing yourself upstairs with that spine. Good luck and God bless. And I said, give me time. Watch what I do. And so eventually, I was able to clear the 48 stairs. About a year later, I was able to get home. It took years for me to be able to dance again. I was never able to get back on point because unless you've been on point, unless you've been on point, you don't understand the pressure that it puts on your back and your body to put all of your body weight on your toes and to hold yourself in that posture. So I was never able to get on point, but that's okay because you know what I could do? I could teach dance. I'll tell you what, I got up again and again and again. And then many years later, I'm sitting in therapy, and my therapist is like, what's that scar on your leg? And I was like, oh, that's from when I fell off the building. And he's like, I'm sorry, what did you just say? And I was like, yeah, I fell off a building, you know the story. And he's like, no, I don't. And he's like, take it from the top. So I tell him the whole story, like full on, and he goes, what are you doing here? And I'm like, what? Why are you yelling at me? And he said, what are you doing here? You have the capacity to overcome that, and you're here crying about this? What are you doing? What was that thing that you were told? And I said to get up. And he goes, get up. And I was like, oh my gosh, oh my God. And then when I first started doing this, I was like, this is going to be the first thing that I have to start talking about. It's like this idea of getting up because we have got to get up. We have got to be willing to get up. And life is hard. And things will knock us down. And people will try to tell us who we can and cannot be. And it is up to us to remember what it is that we want and to get up again and again and again. And sometimes you're going to kiss the floor. And sometimes it feels like nobody's there for you. And then you're going to have people who come along and help peel you off the floor. And you're going to have people who fight for you and stand in your corner and say, get it done. And listen, we got to get up. And y'all about to go to college. You're going to have some struggles. That's just a part of life. That's just the reality. Those are coming. And for all the adults in the room who think they're not, stop it, right? Like, really, because sometimes people are like, oh my God, this changed and I'm so confused. You're confused that life has changed? Stop. Stop it right now. The most powerful thing we have is the story we tell ourselves about who we are, what that means, and what we are capable and deserving of. I learned that when I was kissing the floor again and again and again. It is the most powerful thing we have. Who are you telling yourself that you are? Who are you telling yourself that you're going to be? That story is going to impact and influence everything that you do and everything that you become. Did I quote myself? Yeah, I have the mic. Okay? Here's 2 things to know for the pre-work. 1, you have to acknowledge what is. Let's not pretend that it's any better or any worse than what it is. Acknowledge it for what it is. And 2, you got to feel all the feels. If we keep squishing down our feelings and like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, there's no real growth there. This hurts. I'm in pain. I'm strapped to a back brace. That is real. And watch what I do from that place. Honor what is and feel all your feelings, because the only way out is through. The only real way out is through. Here are my top 5 tips for you when it comes to getting up. The first is this. Oh, disclaimer. This is simple, but not always easy. And it is simple. In like me saying it, it sounds like, oh yeah, that's simple enough, but it's not easy if you're not practiced at it. It gets easier the more you practice, so you gotta get into practicing, okay? Here's the first one, is right here, a gratitude practice. I cannot stress a gratitude practice enough. There are over 2,000 studies that show that people who practice gratitude have more happy hormones in their body than people who take antidepressants. You have more happy hormones just by practicing gratitude. I'm laid up in the hospital. I have all the reasons to be mad about my life and my situation. And I found myself going, well, at least I have the tenacity to try. At least I have these nurses who are showing up for me and on my side. At least I have this equipment. At least I have a wheelchair. At least. There's so much good that we have to focus on. And we tend to ignore that and focus on what's not going right. This is gonna benefit you when you go to college, because when you hit those ripples, because you will, focus on what is going right. Focus on who is showing up and holding space for you. And when you do that, studies have shown that when you focus on all the things that are going good, take your eyes off the problem just for a moment. Focus on all the things that are going good, and then watch how differently you show up and look at that problem and how quickly you can find a solution, right? I love this quote. Strength does not come from winning. Your struggles develop your strengths. When you go through hardships and decide not to surrender, that is strength. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for our today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Gratitude. The second is this: educate yourself. And yes, you're going to college. I'm not talking about just that kind of education. I'm talking about the educating yourself, like make sure you have all the information before you make an opinion. Right? Make sure that you fully equip yourself. For myself personally, when I was having, because I deal with residual back issues and residual body issues every single day. Before I came here this morning, I have to do this thing. I have to put a curve in my neck and a curve in my lower back. Y'all don't even have to think twice about that. If I don't put those curves into my neck, which only lasts 4 to 6 hours, I am in excruciating pain all day. If I want to show up and be my best self, for myself, for my daughter, for all of you, then I have got to take care of my body. Right? That's important for me. So in order for me to understand what was happening in my spine, I had to take that extra step and educate myself. I had to make sure that I was doing the work to take care of my body first and foremost, and that meant finding the knowledge to continue to figure out what's happening so that I can take steps from that place. So please make sure that you're always educating yourself. That should never stop, and I'm not just talking about school, I'm talking about in life. Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela. And he said that when he was serving 27 years in prison. Take responsibility. This is your life. This is your life. I could blame my sister for making the swing. I could blame poor construction, even though it wasn't, right? We could blame so many things, but at the end of it all, what are you doing to create change in your life? Because it's yours. This right here, the first time I read this quote, it felt like somebody slapped me upside my head. You are responsible for your life. If you're sitting around waiting on someone to save you, to fix you, to even help you, you are wasting your time. Only you have the power to move your life forward. And here's the thing. There are going to be people who are going to show up and want to help you. But you have to be willing to receive the help. And I can tell you, as a woman and as a mother, sometimes that's real hard for me. People are like, let me help you, let me help you. No, I got it, no, I got it, no, I got it. To prove what to who? Right? We have to be willing to let people help us. Yes, that's also taking responsibility, but then you have to be the one that takes a step forward. I had to be the one to drag my legs off of the bed and be willing to stand up. Because then what also happens is people will champion for you when they see you showing up for yourself. The next one is this. You got to unite in positivity. You got to find people who are like-minded in terms of their capacity to be positive. 5 types of people you want to surround yourself with. Seriously. Write this down. The inspired, the passionate, the motivated, the grateful, and the open-minded. You surround yourself with the right kind of people, you're going to have a different type of life. Because either you become like them or they become like you. And if for a little while you need to be lonely, rephrase. If for a little while you need to be alone, there's 8 billion people on the planet, you're never lonely. If for a little while you need to be alone until you figure out what that means, do it. Learn. Honor yourself. Figure out who you are. Figure out how you can best move through the world. Write your story. Decide who you're going to be. And then let your life bring to you the people who align you with who you want to be. And then finally, you got to pick optimism. You have to choose it every single day. And I'm not talking about toxic positivity, like everything is fine, everything. No, it's not. Stop it. Optimism says, this is horrible, and I can still try. Optimism says, the situation is dire, and I can do this. We can do this. Optimism says yes, and. Optimism says yes, and. Optimism is the one quality more associated with success and happiness than any other. We got to pick it every day. Just like we brush our teeth, or at least I hope you brush your teeth. Just like that every single day, you got to choose this every single day until it becomes second nature, until it becomes your only nature. So look at what I did. Oh my gosh, y'all. She's so clever. See it? You see it. Okay, this is how we get up. There are 8 billion people on the planet. You are the only one of you that ever has been, ever is, and ever will be. The only one. Even identical twins don't share 100% of their DNA. You are the only one. This number right here, 400 quadrillion. Quadrillion, 400, comma, 000, comma, 000, comma, 000, comma, 000, comma, 000. 400 quadrillion. The chance of you being born is 1 in 400 quadrillion. You are here on purpose. You are here on purpose, and you are the only one of 8 billion. And life will get hard, and when it does, you have the capacity to get up. And you know how I know? Because you're here today, which means you have survived 100% of your worst days. So when the going gets tough, what's that saying? The tough get going. And that's you, and I know it is, because you're here. You are unique, and if that is not fulfilled, then something has been lost. We're about to hear your stories, and every year that we do this, it blows me away what these young people do. And every year, I hear the stories from these young people, and I think, I need to step my game up. I'm an underachiever, right? I also want to make sure that as much as you are out there doing all the things and saving the world, that you are taking care of yourself first and foremost and recognizing that you have a marker that the world needs. You do. And it doesn't have to look like anybody else because you're the only one. You're the only one. Okay, do we have a minute? Yes, everybody on your feet. For real. Stand up, hurry up, quick, come on, hurry up. You gotta move, it's early in the morning. Put your hands up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. No. Again, old, she's old. All right, hands on your hips, for real. Stand in that power pose position. Take a nice long deep breath. And I want you to repeat after me. I am enough. I am the author of my life. I can get up. No matter what life throws at me, I can get up. I am capable. I am strong. I am intelligent. I am beautiful. I am remarkable. I am the only one of me that ever has been, ever is, and ever will be. I am here on purpose. I can get up, no matter what. I am enough. Like you mean it. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Give yourself a high five. You can take a seat. All right, so here's the wrap. Because I know he already told me like 5 minutes ago to wrap up 5 minutes ago. You have a choice, right? I hope you choose to get up. I hope you choose to get up from your mistakes and your failures, which you will have, and thank goodness, because how else will you learn? I hope you choose to get up from your frustrations, because life sometimes gets hard and frustrating, and then you feel it, own it, and then say, yeah, and get up. I hope you get up from the discomfort of change. I hope you get up from any naysayers. And sometimes, I'm gonna look at the floor when I say this, because sometimes those people are in your family. Just saying. I hope you get up from the unseen and the past circumstances. I hope you get up. So here's what I want for you. This is a QR code. I created a web page with all this stuff, and it's all broken down for you. There's some additional resources, and bonus, there's a worksheet. Why? Because there's students in here, and I know you're learners. So if you want a worksheet so you can do your gratitude, so you can write down your affirmations, so you can have all of that's available right there. Yeah, get out your phone. What you doing? Stop playing around. I didn't create this webpage for nothing, y'all. Listen, I got up. Get up your phone. Get the QR code, right? webpage, worksheet, it's all right there for you. I have had students where I've given this talk and they've come back to me 2, 3, 4 years later. One kid had it in his wallet. It was so faded, and he's like, Miss, I lived this and it changed my life. I almost started crying because I was like, I know. I don't just talk this, I live this. And after everything I've been through, if I can wake up every morning and I'm like, it's Friday to get up, it's Saturday, it's Sunday. And please, the other thing is I'm dancing every time there's a beat, even if it's just in my head, because they told me that I couldn't, so watch what I do now, right? You gotta get up, we gotta get up again and again. There's those 5 tips for you, just as a reminder. Oh, and don't worry about it, because if you grab that QR code, they're all on there. And thank you for your time. Now we're gonna move into that part where I get to hand out money. Well, not me, like actually, but we're gonna be handing out some money, because why else would we get up this early? Other than vacations, we covered that. Yeah, keep up, y'all, I know it's early. All right, let me scooch this over. Right here. So we're gonna start with our first award. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Sorry, give me a second. I gotta organize my papers. Okay. First, I'd like to call up Lawrence. Where you at? Lawrence, get your butt up here, man. I love Lawrence. Lawrence from the Boys and Girls Club of Fitchburg, Leominster, Gardner. And Lawrence is going to be presenting awards for the following students: Allison Amari, Samuel Munkasey. Yep, get up here. Get up here. Get up. You see, it's a theme. Yeah. Carolyn Broder, and then Benjamin Schmidt.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Maria. I really enjoy listening to Maria. Last year was amazing, and this year is even. I never thought I would take down notes or think about this, but you gave me something that I'm going to go on with. I'm going to have that. And there's truth. A lot of it is we are here on purpose, and I remember that very well. And I say this before introducing our students, that there was a time we were studying as a family on a purpose-driven life and thinking about our purpose here, what gifts we have, each one of us, and what we can bring to the world, wherever we are, the impact that we can bring. And my daughter asked me the question one day, and she said, Dad, does that mean if I find my purpose, I can skip school? You can tell that I think school was getting a lot out of her, and she was saying that, how can I just skip all of this? And it's amazing when we read through. I'm not going to be able to go through all of it because I have a minute on each of the students that I'm going to present, but when you read through what they have gone through and the grades that they have, Jim Adams, where's Jim? Last year Jim says that I didn't even know that they could go above this GPA. They have 4, I thought it was only 4, now they have plus. Above all of it, I didn't know. They could do all of this math. I don't even know how they do it. But it's amazing that the foundation has done all of this and brought students with this quality to our community, because they are going to be servants in our community. They're going to serve in public offices. They're going to work in the economy. They're going to serve, one of them, I'm going to just go on and read what they have here. The first person, let me just go on. Allison, please. Allison, step up. Allison Amari. She's from North Middlesex Regional High School. And the things that she has done is just amazing. When she looks at the internship that she's carrying out, I asked her when I came in earlier, I said, is Representative Scarsdale here? She's not here, but she has learned a lot from her in internship with her. And then a quote that she brought from a Spanish teacher, he said, the motivational quote, it says, learning is not about the destination, it's about the journey. That is one of the strongest things that has held her in this academic work. The great letters that I read about what she has done, and the representative calls her, in her internship working with her, a friend. Those are some of the things that you don't easily see every day. When you work with a student, when I came, Representative Higgins was going to meet the student who works with her also in the office, and this is amazing. When you are clear on your path, you have your purpose very clear. She does, and she's pursuing a political science career, and there is no doubt that the English teacher that is in your life, the Spanish teacher quote that you got, the work that you do with the state representative, and your great record in your academic work is positioning you well to go to George Washington University. Congratulations on receiving the Foundation Scholarship Award. This way a little bit. Thank you very much. Just stay right. And the next student, Sam Monkesi. When I talked with him a little earlier, it's amazing. Again, you all know the strong work ethic that he exhibits, and any work that he has done, working with people, working in an office, doing research, inward thinking of what has happened, the opportunity to self-reflect, even like taking a loss in an election. It's not easy. Not everybody takes it easy when you go in for an office and then you don't get it. But he turns around and uses that energy to build self-esteem. And he reflects on these things and seeing or discovering the importance, come to the realization of the importance of authenticity over conformity. There are great letters that have been written about the work that he has done, and the letter from the English department head of Lunenburg attesting to the character. That is not something that we find in our young people these days. It's very difficult because it's who you are when nobody is looking. We put on fake faces, and that's why I was so impressed reading what he wrote. We put on a show every morning. When we meet people, how are you doing? Hi, everything is fine, but we are not being ourselves. We laugh with somebody, we turn around, and we are not the same, but they attest to the character. So I really appreciate that, and I want to say, you are going to do great. There's no doubt about it. And you're going on with your study at Boston College to study economics. We congratulate you on receiving the Chamber Scholarship Award. Thank you very much. Now, next, this is I don't know, I know Travis is letting me know we have 1 minute for each student. Our next student, Caroline Brodeur. I tried to get her name right because it's French, and you know, I'm from Cameroon originally, West Africa. We speak French and English. And I was thinking about what she wrote, and the testimony, we've already talked about the academic work, but the testimony about her father being in her life, it's very inspirational. It makes me want to choke when I think about the story. Dad is here, Paul Brodeur, is sitting right over there. Paul suffered a massive stroke in May, and that could have taken his life. But the miracle, the determination, like Maria was saying, get up. And the medical staff that were present gave a strong resilience in him, built that resilience so that he was able to take steps that are necessary. And watching the dad go through all of that and being the coach that he was and is to her is a great inspiration. I'm not going to go too detailed into this because it makes me want to stop. But it is very great. When I was preparing this, I wasn't so sure he was going to be in this room. And I was so, when they told me he's sitting right over there, I turned around and said, I need to just shake his hand and say, great, you are a source of encouragement to many people. Being present, your determination, some people easily give up when they have situations like that. And it sends the message to your body to start shutting down. But you never allow that to happen. And you are here today. And that is such an encouragement because she's going to grow up to be very strong, resilient because of your coaching in the games that you've coached with her, standing by side, encouraging her to continuously run the race. It is an encouragement, not only to her, but she's definitely, like now I'm sharing the story. She's going to share it to many of our friends and roommates and classmates in school. So thank you very much. She's going to be attending Fitchburg State University. So another thing to Maria, I also teach adjunct, and we have Dr. Lepidus here who is going to be transitioning to a different stage, but Fitchburg State University, congratulations on receiving the Chamber Scholarship Award. I know some of the stories, when they come, I'm thinking about how to elaborate a little more, but we already have taken care of the academic work, so I'm going on straight to the personal stories that are inspirational. Dad being there, and Dad is in the room, and we're going to move on to another story, and I'm going to call Benjamin Smith. So I don't know if it was intentional, but Katie, I don't know, you put this in order so that when we do Dad's story, we do Mom's story next. And it's Mother's Day, just in a day and a half. So, Ben tells a story of his mother. And this is an interesting thing. When I met his mother and I said, have you read this story? And she says, no, I have no idea what they're talking about. And I turned to Ben and I said, you didn't share the story with Mom? Ben says, no, I've not. And I was just thinking about it. Actually, he said, what story? And I said, this is the reason that Mom is going to ask you to tell that story, because you need to tell Mom what you wrote about her being that hero in your life and the motivational talk she has given to you and her own resilience, persistence in going through pain. Even she tells a story of going through pain of childbirth, heartbreak, betrayal, disappointment, grief, sorrow. And all of this, she has been able to sustain the family and still being that encouraging person. And he said that it's sometimes difficult to think about it and saying your mom is the hero, but he is definitely going to say that Mom is the hero. You need to read that story, and you would understand how I feel the way I feel about this story. So this is something that helps him to become that passionate about what he does in life and the stories that he tells. We shared a little bit of a story together about what encourages us daily. Sometimes you wake up, you want to give up, but Maria tells us you have to get up because there's a lot. We only succeed when we carry out our gift to the fullest extent. And I was sharing with her, and I could say this freely, that we talked about God's presence in their lives. And that there's a motivation because He puts people in your life. Some of them come roughly packaged, but there's a beauty at the end. Because when we look at the caterpillar that is crawling, we don't see the butterfly. And when the butterfly comes out, all of us say, oh, this is beautiful. But that's how God packages it. So whatever the struggles that you've had in your life and the way you've dealt with it has been an inspiration for this young man, and he's going to grow up to be a great young man who's going to lead his generation. So Ben is going to continue his studies at Mount Wachusett Community College. Dr. Van der Hoeven is here. So we are very, very privileged to have you here. And they live in Westminster, and we shared one thing in common, that I go to church in Westminster. I live in Leominster, they go to church in Leominster. So that's great. So thank you very much. Congratulations on receiving the Foundation Award. And that will be all for now. Thank you very much.
Look at you already ready. I love it. Next up, I'd like to invite Rick Healy from Foster Healy Real Estate, and he will be presenting awards for Madeline Davidson and Max Libby Grantham.
See if I can get this right. Morning. It's always, thank you. It's always one of my favorite events of the year. This is actually the 37th year that I've been able to remember my dad by honoring one of the area's best and brightest. Ed Healy took personal pride in the region and made it his mission to instill that pride in others. When we at Foster Healy Real Estate looked for an appropriate memorial, endowing this award in the Chamber Scholarship Program was a natural choice. This year's recipient of the Edward C.J. Healy Scholarship continues a long tradition. Madeline Davidson has a virtually perfect transcript, an outstanding resume at Oakmont Regional High School, as a student, as a leader, and as an athlete. She's deeply involved not just in her school student council, but also as a delegate to the statewide Association of Student Councils. She was also recently recognized as Customer Service Representative of the Year at Mount Wachusett Ski Area. But when I asked Maddie what she was most proud of in her high school career, she talked about her involvement with the Special Olympics. Her essay spoke of the admiration she has for her brother's positive outlook, who was born with special needs. She has devoted much of her free time as a partner to her brother as he competes in Special Olympic events and to the Special Olympic organization as a whole, so that others with similar needs can enjoy those positive experiences. Talking with my neighbor, Paula Stefanakis, who happens to be Maddie's student advisor as president of the National Honor Society, I learned an interesting fact. Madison sleeps with her eyes opened. Now, I remember an 8 a.m. Friday morning accounting class in college where I would have envied that skill. But somehow I suspect Madeline will continue to have her eyes wide open and be wide awake in all of her classes at the University of Virginia as she continues the remarkable path she started. Maddie, this year Foster Healy Real Estate is celebrating our 100th year in local business. You and your fellow award winners represent all that is right about North Central Massachusetts and give us great confidence for the next 100 years. Your family, your school, and your community are very proud of you. Ed Healy would be honored that we get to remember his contributions by honoring your accomplishments with this scholarship. On behalf of the Healy family and all of us at Foster Healy Real Estate, I present you the Edward C.J. Healy Scholarship and wish you the best in your college career. Oops, you get to keep the check. I was also asked by my friend Carol Blank, who was Ruth de Grisellia's nephew, come on up, Max, to present their M. Ruth Lee Scholarship as he was unable to be here this morning. Ruth de Grisellia was a leading pioneer of women-owned businesses, operating successfully for 54 years. Her store in downtown Leominster, Ruth Lee's, opened in the 1940s and was an icon of quality and fashionable women's clothing, which she would select on her frequent buying trips to New York City and to Paris. Always an advocate for education, at the age of 57, she earned her bachelor's degree in business as a full-time student at Fitchburg State College, all while managing 3 stores, 1 in Leominster and 2 on the Cape. These are the values that Ruth Lee lived by and which inspired her to establish the Scholarship Foundation. This year's recipient of the M. Ruth Lee Scholarship, Maxwell Libby Grantham, is yet another overachiever. His transcript from Neshoba High School is, in fact, all A's. He's on a robotics team that competed at the World Championships in Houston, Texas. One of the most interesting things I learned about Maxwell is that he's achieved this success while serving as an EMT at the Bolton Fire Department 911 ambulance. He is actually often on call while in class, ready to respond to any emergency call. He spends 3 hours of continuing education every week, in addition to acquiring his schoolwork to achieve and maintain the required certifications. That dedication is going to serve him well as he moves on to UMass and Amherst to study biochemistry and neuroscience. Please join me in congratulating Maxwell Libby Grantham for receiving the M. Ruth Lee Scholarship.
One of the things that I really do love about this is that on top of their academic achievements and what they're able to do academically, these are just solid, good people, right? And to hear about such, right? And to hear about such good people in such young bodies, I'm like, what? The reason why I love doing this is because if you think about everything that's happening right now in the world, it feels really detrimental. And then you come to a space like this, and I'm like, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay, yeah. Next up, I would like to call Jim Adams from Enterprise Bank and Trust, and he will be presenting the award for Audric Odonten.
Good morning again. You know, every once in a while, I reflect on my parents. This scholarship's in my parents' name. My dad's passed in 2000, mom in 2006. You know, every once in a while, I'm part of a discussion of the lottery, and I say to people, look, I won the lottery. And their reaction is, well, how much money did you win? And my reaction is, the lottery is my parents. God gave me a mom and dad that was second to none. My sister Jeanette and Mary Beth are here today. My brother Charles and brother Richard. The tools they gave us to survive in life is just amazing. And I'd be ever gratitude. You know, Maria mentions gratitude. I just so much gratitude because for my parents. You know, one of the areas we look at is grades, and Audrich's transcript, his lowest grade was 94. Now, we share something in common. We're both graduates of St. Bernard's, and I live in a house I grew up in, and tucked away somewhere in a box in the attic is my transcript. And if I pulled that out, I think my highest grade would be 83. And that probably would be in physical education. So it's just amazing. But, you know, I look on the application to what people do outside of work. And first of all, he's a shift leader at Dunkin' Donuts. And I don't know if you ever been in a Dunkin' Donut line, but nobody's smiling. And to be a shift leader, it takes a lot of patience. And also, what they volunteer their time for, two organizations that he volunteers his time for is Habitat for Humanity, which they build houses for people that normally couldn't afford a market rate house. And also he volunteers time for the North Star Family Services, which started about 25 years ago, and it's a transition houses and apartments for people who can't afford the first month's rent and second month's rent and the security deposit. They let them stay there to build up some funds, and then they move into those locations. And, you know, why is that important? Because I think, you know, Maria mentioned this too, it's good to know how people struggle in life and how people get through in life. And I think it's always good to be humbled at a young age because it will help you going forward with your life. And, you know, his essay was spot on, and I'm a little bit biased because he talked about his dad. And as I mentioned, my dad was a big part of my life. And his dad wasn't in the military, but he's proud of being an American. And that's what he wrote in his essay. And he wrote that, you know, his dad didn't serve the country, but he served his family. And how he did that, he would work 2 jobs. He would try to show him the right way to do things. And like I said, if somebody's going to be important in your life, somebody that should be always in your life. And I think in Audrich's case, his dad's always going to be part of his life, which is going to help him going forward. Even though my parents have been gone a long time, I still reflect on the things they taught us, and I still apply those principles in my life today. So going to Harvard University, which is amazing, and on behalf of my brothers and sisters, I award you the Adams Family Scholarship.
Yeah, I could not do that at Dunkin' Donuts. You want some hot coffee? No, I would never. Hearing the little bits of their stories, it just reminds me that these are not leaders in the making, these are leaders, right? And gosh, it's just so young and powerful. All right, next up, I'd like to call up David. Yes, get yourself up here. From the Boys and Girls Club of Fitchburg, Leominster, and Gardner, and he will be presenting awards for Brianna Bowser and McKinley Shabbat.
Good morning, everyone. Throughout his life, Mr. Ronald Anson epitomized the power of dedication and compassion, touching the lives of thousands through his unwavering commitment to civic, social, and philanthropic endeavors. From his formative years at Phillips Academy, Harvard College, and Yale Law School, to his illustrious careers in manufacturing and banking, Mr. Anson's journey was marked by relentless pursuit of positive change. His service on numerous committees, boards, and governor's councils exemplified his tireless dedication to making a difference. Mr. Anson's boundless generosity knew no bounds as he selflessly dedicated his time, spirit, wisdom, and support to improving the quality of life for those in need. His unwavering commitment to the arts, education, healthcare, public policy, and social services transcended boundaries, leaving a lasting impact on communities right here in North Central Massachusetts. In recognition of his extraordinary contributions, Mr. Anson received numerous accolades reflecting the profound impact of his work. Moreover, his establishment of a foundation underscored his deep-rooted belief in giving back, enriching the lives of countless individuals and organizations, including the Boys and Girls Club of Fitchburg and Leominster. It is with deep reverence and gratitude that the Chamber Foundation continues to honor Mr. Anson's unparalleled philanthropy in North Central Massachusetts. Though leaving us this past year, the Ronald M. Anson Scholarship serves as a testament to his enduring legacy, inspiring future generations to follow in his footsteps and continue the noble pursuit of making our world a better place for all. Just like this year's recipient, Miss Brianna Bowser. From the outset, it was evident that Bree is an exceptional student who excels in every academic challenge presented to her, earning a 4.0 GPA and title of President of the National Honor Society. Brianna's excellence extends far beyond the classroom. She's not only a standout student, but also an exceptionally polite and kind individual who is respected by both faculty and peers alike. Her involvement in various extracurricular activities speak volumes about her character and commitment to service. As a varsity soccer star, an assistant coach for youth soccer, and an active participant in her faith community, Bree demonstrates exemplary leadership and dedication to making a positive impact to those around her. Ms. Bowser's work ethic extends beyond her extracurricular endeavors, from her employment at the local library during the school year to her role as a lifeguard during the summers. Bree's dedication to her responsibilities is truly commendable. Her ability to balance academic pursuits, extracurricular activities, and employment responsibilities is a testament to her maturity and readiness to thrive in any future endeavors. Much like a young Ronald Anson full of aspiration, Brianna Bowser will continue to achieve great success in her future academic and personal pursuits. Graduating from Lunenburg High School with a 4.0 and committing to Assumption University this fall for Business and Accounting, this is Ms. Brianna Bowser. And I now have the privilege of presenting the next scholarship. Please come up, McKinley. In honor of the impactful legacy of Roderick W. Lewin, a distinguished figure whose dedication to community betterment spans decades, the Chamber Foundation proudly presents the Roderick W. and Donna M. Lewin Scholarship. Since his arrival in Ashburnham in 1960, Roderick Lewin has exemplified a steadfast commitment to societal improvement, leaving an indelible mark on the Fitchburg community and beyond. Throughout his illustrious career, Roderick Lewin's contributions have been manifold. As Vice President of the Fitchburg Art Museum, he championed the arts as a vehicle for cultural enrichment. His remarkable work in oral and facial surgeries has spanned more than 40 years, providing his services to facilities such as Community Health Care for Fitchburg, Tufts Dental School, and the University of Massachusetts for Medical. His skill and compassion has always been unwavering. Beyond his professional achievements, Roderick Lewin's commitment to societal welfare shines brightly. Having served secretary on the Board of Registration and Dentistry, he has demonstrated a deep-seated dedication to upholding professional standards and ethics. Moreover, his efforts extend globally, notably through his work with the underprivileged citizens of Honduras. As director of the facial reconstruction team and a driving force behind the establishment of a burn center in Honduras, Roderick Lewin's humanitarian endeavors have left an enduring impact. His vision of a more equitable world, coupled with his proactive efforts to realize it, serves as an inspiration for us all. The Roderick W. and Donna M. Lewin Scholarship seeks to honor and continue this remarkable legacy by supporting aspiring individuals who exhibit a similar commitment to community service and societal advancement, which brings us to Ms. McKinley Shabbat. McKinley Shabbat embodies the spirit of service and leadership that the Roderick W. and Donna M. Lewin Scholarship seeks to recognize and nurture. Through a multitude of extracurricular activities, volunteer work, and part-time employment, McKinley has demonstrated a profound commitment to both her school community and the broader society. As Vice President of the National Honor Society and Editor-in-Chief of the Oak Monitor Club, McKinley has showcased her leadership abilities and dedication to academic excellence. Her role as captain of the Oakmont Girls Cross Country and outdoor track teams highlight her teamwork, determination, and ability to inspire others. Her involvement in Students Against Destructive Decisions, SAD, underscores her commitment to promoting healthy choices and positive behaviors among her peers. It even serves as an anchor of OTV News. She has utilized her communication skills to inform and engage her school community. Outside of her school, McKinley's volunteer work with the Environmental Committee demonstrates her proactive approach to the environmental stewardship and community service. By initiating efforts to clean up her trails and promote environmental sustainability, she has made a tangible contribution to her communities as well. In addition to her academic and extracurricular achievements, McKinley's part-time employment at Wachusett Mountain and Wildwood Farm reflects her work ethic, responsibility, and willingness to contribute to her own financial support. McKinley's outstanding accomplishment and dedication to service makes her a deserving recipient for the Roderick W. and Donna M. Lewin Scholarship. Like Roderick Lewin, Ms. Shabbat is dedicated to making a positive difference in the world. With plans to attend Montana State University for business management this fall, graduating from Oakmont Regional High School with a 4.28 GPA, this is McKinley Shabbat.
When they're talking about the students and they go, and in addition, and in addition, and in addition, that's when I'm like, step your game up, Maria. Okay, next up, I'd like to invite Beth Hodge to the stage. And Beth is from the United Way of North Central Massachusetts and will be introducing Leah Levensaler.
Good morning. I hope everybody's having a great morning so far. It's been awesome to hear all of these successes, the accolades that these students are talking about. Hearing their successes really makes this something that is an exciting thing to be a part of. Today I have the honor of sharing the stage with Leah, a senior from Leominster High School. Not only is Leah a dedicated student, an athlete, a theater enthusiast, but she's also a compassionate advocate, a provider, and somebody who's an incredibly hard worker, balancing school, work, passions, things that make her excited, field hockey, friendships, all of the things that we hope for in a high school experience. It's without a doubt that Leah will achieve great heights with her tenacity. For these reasons and many more, I'm proud to award Leah with this year's Barbara Silver Scholarship. Ms. Silva is credited with establishing the scholarship program 22 years ago, and the Chamber Foundation has named this scholarship in honor for her years of dedication, commitment, and service for her community. Leah, may your dedication, service, and commitment guide you on your next journey. Keep warming people's hearts through your productions. You're gonna go far.
I love this flow where they're already like getting ready. Ease, man. Next up, I'd like to invite Patrick Ellis from Enterprise Bank and Trust to the stage, and he will be introducing Christian Alamonte, Beckett Scott, and Diesel Witten, who is not available today to attend, but we're going to celebrate for him anyways. Come on.
Welcome up, Christian. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Patrick. Thanks for coming here today. So Christian, he's graduating at the top of his class from Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School. His plan is to dive into the world of mechanical engineering. Sounds like he's got the aptitude based on his transcript and his resume. Impressive student, good job. On top of having awesome grades, our awardee clearly found a passion for running, as he's been the captain of the indoor, outdoor, and cross-country track teams. Spent a lot of time running. In his free time, He was also captain of the Monty Tech Leo Club and found time to volunteer at many more organizations. I'm just going to list a few, such as Special Olympics, the Jimmy Fund, St. Jude's, and the list is a lot longer. So thanks for all you do, Christian. Congratulations. I'm glad to offer you the David L. McKeon Scholarship. Best of luck at WPI. Thanks, Christian. Beckett. Beckett's graduating from Fitchburg High School, and he's also graduating amongst the top of his class. He's interested in pursuing a career in dietetics and applied nutrition. In addition to his fantastic academic achievements, he stayed very active as the captain of the long-distance track team and played soccer for Fitchburg High as well. I wouldn't want to get on their bad side. This student has spent over 1,000 hours of time training Taekwondo. Impressive. Since 2020, placed first in 2 state championships, placed first in 2 tri-state championships, and also got to perform in locations such as Times Square and even in South Korea. Outside of school, Beckett spent a significant time paying it forward with one of my favorite local organizations, Luck. Thanks for doing that. And I'm happy to present you with the Salney Family Scholarship. Congratulations, Beckett. Diesel Witten, he's not with us today, but this is an impressive student. He's graduating from the Bromfield School and is planning on furthering his education on the field of civil engineering. Like other recipients this morning, Diesel has a list of volunteer activities a mile long. It was actually 3 pages front and back. It was wild. So some of the highlights include being a history team president, another cross-country team captain, treasurer of the Model UN Club and speech and debate club. I'm not kidding, there's a lot more. It was several pages. Service is clearly a way of life for Diesel. It should be no surprise they've received several awards, such as the George Eastman Young Leadership Award for Outstanding Achievements in Leadership and Academics, in addition to several others. Lastly, I wanted to highlight that the student challenged themselves to run a mile every hour for 24 hours. That's an intense undertaking. So congratulations to Diesel. Round of applause. Back to you, Maria. Enjoy your day. Thank you.
Next up, I'd like to invite Tara Lapis to the stage. And Tara is from Ascension Appraisal, and she will be introducing Aaliyah Cooper.
You get 1 minute. 1 minute. Do you know how hard it is to whittle down all of the amazing accomplishments and things that they do in 1 minute? Ask Dean, it took me hours to whittle it down. And so I'm going to read it because otherwise it'll be 10 minutes. And just for the record, this, I think for all of us, many of us, this is always the favorite breakfast of the year. I mean, you guys are amazing. And Maria, oh my goodness. Okay, going to just read. Today I'll be presenting the Benjamin Asher Scholarship to Aaliyah Cooper. Ben Asher of the Asher Pants Company was well known as an intelligent, hardworking, and successful businessman who believed in the value of education. He was very involved in the community and truly understood the importance of giving back. Though he passed away in the 80s, his legacy lives on in his company and philanthropic endeavors and the impact they had on this area. Like the other scholarship recipients here today, Aaliyah is a stellar student with a very long list, pages-long list also, of impressive academic achievements and extracurricular and volunteer activities. The list is very, very long. She is an incredibly impressive young lady. In her essay, this is really interesting. She talks about how she was inspired to become a wildlife biologist by the story of the removal of the wolves in Yellowstone and how their removal devastated the ecosystem there and how balance was restored by bringing them back. It's a fascinating story. Look it up, Google it, it's amazing. Aaliyah is graduating from the veterinary program at Monty Tech and will be attending Brown University. And in the meantime, she has one of the most interesting jobs that I've seen on all of the applications this year. She's been putting her passion and skills to work caring for lab rats, primates, and other animals in a drug testing facility, ensuring they receive good care. I always wondered who takes care of those animals, and it makes me feel so good that somebody actually does care about them. According to her Girl Scout leader, Aaliyah is a young woman with remarkable character, leadership abilities, and a dedication to community service. She goes on to say, beyond her impressive accomplishments, Aaliyah possesses a genuine kindness, attention to detail, and an innate desire to give back to her community. She is a role model for her peers, consistently demonstrating integrity, empathy, and resilience in all aspects of her life. I mean, this is the very kind of student we want to be standing up here receiving scholarships and to go on to, anyway. Aaliyah, we have no doubt that you will achieve all you've set your mind to. It will be exciting to see how you go on to do your part to make the world a better place. I think Benjamin Asher would be very proud to see you receive this scholarship. And so, on behalf of the Chamber and with our very best wishes, it is an honor and a delight to present to you the Benjamin Asher Scholarship.
You know, the older I get, the more sentimental and the faster I can be pulled to tears. And when she said, you know, she cares for the rats in the drug labs, I'm like, oh my gosh. Seriously, from the smallest living thing to helping build homes to taking care of people when they're trying to get their coffee to get to work, like, it's all of it matters. All of it's important and all of it matters. So thank you for showing up and for being who you are. Next up, I would like to invite Barbara Mahoney from Leominster Credit Union, and she will be introducing Elise Moores.
Good morning. Thank you, Maria. I have to mirror Maria's sentiments as far as getting emotional. When I first read the pages of accomplishments from Elise, I almost teared up because this student, this woman, is remarkable. Like many of the other students out here today, her accomplishments were very, very impressive. But I will take a minute to read the notes that I wrote down to really recognize what you have done and why you're here today. So again, it's my honor to recognize Elise, a senior at Groton Dunstable Regional High School, as a recipient of the Leominster Credit Union Scholarship. Determination, motivation, and someone's desire to lead play a significant role in an individual's ability to excel and achieve. Realizing the effort and hard work that you put in, day in and day out, will impact your ultimate goal and help you to accomplish what you set out to do. Elise exemplifies these characteristics as the #1 student in her graduating class with a GPA of 4.21 and has displayed them through her achievement in academics, extracurricular activities, community service initiatives, and employment. Her list of accomplishments, like her peers today, was very impressive. But as exceptional as all that is, what stood out for me was what Elise wrote in her essay and was further spoken to by the individuals that gave her references. She had the ability or had the opportunity to participate in a summer program around physics and biophysics. But she didn't really talk about the academic achievement, or what she emphasized, what showed me in her essay was how she referenced, or what she referenced, was her ability to take ownership in that experience, letting her curiosity guide her to more exciting opportunities, letting her, and the learning that she gained from her teammates and her ability to share her knowledge to assist others to grow. Her ability to apply this in every phase of her life was very inspiring. Elise, with your drive and energy, you will continue to excel in your choice of study, physics, and will achieve great things. It is my pleasure to award Elise the 2024 Leominster Credit Union Scholarship and wish her the best as she goes off to MIT this fall. Congratulations.
Okay, next up, I would like to invite Heidi Brogner of the Organized Duck to the stage, and she will be introducing Joshua Goffin.
Happy Friday to everyone here. Started a nice weekend, and what a way to start it off. This is my first time presenting, so I think I might not be as eloquent as some of the speakers here, but please rest assured that my scholarship recipient is well worth the accolades that you may have for him. As the recipient of the George R. Wallace and Jr. and Alice G. Wallace Scholarship, they provided the foundation named for their local industrialist and philanthropist. They're known for many of their selfless dedication to the community, and I feel that exemplifies very much Joshua here. He was a Boy Scout for many years, and his essay was dedicated to William Hodges, who is his scout leader. And the quote that really caught my attention was that 30 years from now, you'll all look back and you'd give anything to be here again. He took that to heart with Mr. Hodges, and I feel that Maria's comments about us being here on purpose exemplifies some of that. I wanted to point out that he is not only the president of his school, he had time for jobs as well and activities as well, and he is the senior class president, so that's a big accomplishment at Fitchburg High, and editor-in-chief of their newspaper. When I spoke with him, really talked about how important it was for him to take value, and it says here, I learned the value of a single day. More importantly, I'll never be a Boy Scout again since I aged out after turning 18, and soon there will never be a day when I step into high school again as a student. Because of this inconvenient fact, I know I must never waste a single day out of fear that I'll want it back 30 years later. Even 6 months later, I would give anything to be back in the campfire, gazing up at the stars as the last dying embers of the fire serve as guides as I retire to my tent for the night. This kind of resonates with me that he is going on to bigger and better things, and he's not going to waste a single day. So I want to present to him the George R. Wallace Jr. and Alice G. Wallace Scholarship. Congratulations, Joshua Goffin.
Did you notice that Mr. President had the Fitchburg State logo on his tie? I mean, if the man's not a politician. Also, I mentioned to my daughter that I was doing this, and she's like, oh, she goes to Fitchburg High, and she's like, Josh is getting an award. Good people, good people. So there you go. That's the critique that I need is from my daughter. All right, next up, I would like to call up Melissa Kuehl, thank you. I did not name check with the adults, just with the kids, from Rollstone Bank and Trust, and she will be introducing Andrew Lucier.
Good morning, everyone. Andrew Lucier finishes his career at Gardner High School, ranking 5th in his class and scoring better than 96% of the country on his SATs. Yeah. He attained these impressive statistics while working part-time, competing as a 3-season athlete, leading the marching band, and earning the rank of Eagle Scout. For his Eagle Scout project, Andrew was inspired by a family vacation to Maine. He noticed little libraries around town and realized something like that would be a great asset to his hometown of Gardner. Just one wasn't enough for Andrew, though. He installed 4 of them throughout the city so they can be enjoyed by community members for years to come. Andrew has been described as hardworking, naturally curious, courageous, and humble. Although he gives a lot of credit for his work ethic to his older brother, Alex, I think the fact that he recognized opportunities to learn and grow from his brother speak to his maturity and insightfulness. Andrew Lucier, scholar, athlete, musician, artist, mathematician, and so much more. Rollstone Bank and Trust is very proud to award you with this well-deserved scholarship. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And on top of all that, he maintains a beautiful coif of hair. I mean, seriously, I'm standing over there like, I'm going to check in with him about conditioners. All right, next up, I'd like to invite Robert Alario to the stage, and he is coming from Robert C. Alario, CPA, and he will be introducing Jameson Smith.
Good morning. It's a great pleasure that I am here to present Patricia Sampson Alario Scholarship. Patricia was my wife, who died from cancer 5 years ago. When I first met her, I asked her, what does she do? What do you do for a living? And she said, I am a nurse practitioner. And we've got to remember this was close to 40 years ago, and I asked her, what's a nurse practitioner? Is that like a dental hygienist? I was able to recover from that comment and eventually marry her, but she was absolutely a remarkable woman who was the first person to graduate from Boston College, a school of. So it's a great honor that I'm here to present this award to Jameson. Jameson has had an outstanding academic career at Monty Tech. He has become an apprentice electrician while still doing extremely well in school. Jameson enjoys playing the tenor saxophone, has helped coached youth baseball, and is a umpire in the Narragansett League. When Jameson's grandfather became ill, Jameson sprang to action. This sort of represents his initiative to help people. He fixed the house so that his grandfather could live more comfortably with his electrical skills as well as building furniture. This type of initiative will do well when Jameson continues his career at WPI. College. I know this is just going to be the first steps in a long and successful career. It's a great honor that I can present to Jameson the Patricia Sampson Scholarship.
When he said that Jameson saw a need and then did something about it, right? Isn't that the goal? We see a problem, and then rather than just complain about the problem in circles, we do something about it. So thank you for that. Next up, I'd like to invite to the stage Vicki Manchester from Hey Good Looking Salon and Spa. You can't not say it that way. Hey Good Looking. And she's going to be giving the award to Nina Marchietti.
Good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be here and present the Health Alliance Guild Scholarship to Nina Marchetti. When we look at our applications, we're looking for students who want to study and join the healthcare field. And Nina stood out not just for her major of biology pre-medical, but for her lifetime experience in the medical field already. And she will attend University of South Carolina for her degree. The recommendation letters for Nina were amazing. Her teachers spoke very highly of her and listed many positive attributes, such as she is determined to succeed and has strong leadership skills. Her enthusiasm to help others is amazing. She's strong, confident, and dedicated to everything she does, whether it be keeping a 3.96 GPA in school or her involvement in the community and athletic activities, as well as her career development experiences already. Nina has done an observational internship at Mass General Brigham Hospital and observed in the neonatal intensive care unit and many other procedures. Nina wrote a compelling essay about her Grammy and Nano. She spent a lot of time growing up with them, and they were a big influence on her. A few years ago, Nano was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. She's been watching him slowly lose his memory ever since. You see, it's because of her Nano that Nina wants to eventually attend medical school and ultimately hopes to research Alzheimer's one day with the hopes of helping others. She is currently a volunteer of the youth venture organization called Holiday Spreaders. This group visits the memory care units of a different nursing home each month and interacts with those suffering from memory loss. This takes a special kind of person, and I believe Nina is that person. It's with great honor that I present the Health Alliance Guild Scholarship to Nina Marchetti.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I got off a plane at 2:30 this morning. I'm just going to stay right here with you.
Stand here with me. Trisha. Y'all, this is Trisha. She's excited to get to it. She's from UMass Memorial Health Alliance Clinton Hospital, and she's going to be introducing John, I don't want to mispronounce your last name. Terhune, thank you, and Marielle Howlett. Yes, now.
Thank you, Maria.
Girl, it's all you.
All right. Okay, so this is my third year of presenting scholarships on behalf of Health Alliance Clinton Hospital. While always inspiring, I think this year it has a special connection as I have a senior who's also graduating high school, and he's going to Fairfield. So Mother's Day has an extra special meeting this year. But I think it's only fitting after Maria's talk that I ask all the parents to get up and be acknowledged for your contributions and achievements of raising these outstanding students. Yeah. Get up. For over 30 years, the hospital has held a golf tournament that was actually founded by a local philanthropist, John Clementi. Many of you who know John in this room. And it's always been important to our event that a portion of those funds go to support local youth as well as our local workforce. So I am very proud and humbled to be able to present 2 awards today. And again, 1 minute does not allow to fully tell the stories of these 2 outstanding youth. The first award, scholarship I'd like to give today is to John Terhune. He is a senior at Groton Dunstable and will be attending UMass Amherst for engineering. An accomplished student and athlete, one of his teachers said about John, he is a distinctive teenager. His drive is trumped only by his humility, a circumstance so incredibly rare in teenagers today. Ranked second in his class, his academic achievements are only matched by his speed on the track, an impressive 17.01 in 5K and a 4.49 for the mile in indoor track. We are happy to support John's education journey with this engineering scholarship as he pursues his dream to become an engineer. The second scholarship that we are supporting is to Marielle Howlett. She attends Leominster High School Center for Technical Education and Innovation. Marielle is ranked first in her class. with an astounding 5.2 weighted GPA. And she is also an accomplished athlete and as a volleyball player. She will be attending a little school in Boston, Harvard University, in the fall. And while still undecided, she's planning to focus on engineering and biology. She claims in her letter that luck, and similar to what Jim Adams was speaking about, that luck has played a lot of a role in her life, and the luck of being born into such an amazing family. But I think that she also, and I think we all can agree, that Marielle's commitment to her own education, athletics, and community has contributed to laying this amazing foundation for her future. So congratulations.
I do think that there's a thing called luck, but I also think that what's more important is what you do with it, right? Because there are plenty of people who seem to have high levels of privilege and don't necessarily do as much with it. So cheers to you for taking it and doing the best with it that you can. Next up, I would like to invite Chris Hendry from IC Credit Union. And the student is not available today, but the student is Pavel Belakursky. Yes, unavailable to attend, yes.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. IC Credit Union is proud to present this scholarship today. IC's been in your community for 95 years, and the commitment to give back is something that we hold near and dear to everything that we do. Today, I'm excited to share a little about the 2024 IC Credit Union Scholarship recipient, Pavel Belakursky of Groton-Dunstable Regional High School. As you know, unfortunately, Pavel couldn't be here today. He has decided to attend Northwestern University this fall and double major in computer engineering and physics. I found this interesting as Northwestern wasn't even on his application to the Chamber Scholarship. When I spoke with Pavel, we discussed the many volunteer and extracurricular opportunities he takes on, and like so many of these recipients, his list is incredible. I challenged him to limit his response to the one activity he most passionately is proud of. His answer, as the software captain on Team Robotomies in the FIRST Robotics program. Why? Because he loves to teach and work with his teammates, especially troubleshooting the challenges they face until they figure it out. Problem solving and team building will certainly help him in his future. When I asked him what else he does for fun in his spare time, he said that he loves to play the New York Times Connections and Strands games every day. Good for him. Pavel is an incredible young man. All of us at IC wish him nothing but success as he travels to Northwestern, and I'm really looking forward to watching what he does in the future. Thank you very much.
And now I would like to call up Nicole Vasallo, yes, from Workers Credit Union, and she will be presenting the award for Rahim Rashid.
Thank you. We're the last ones, I think, so save another accomplished individual for the end. I always love this event. In fact, my colleagues would tell you that I ask weeks ahead, when is the scholarship breakfast and who is our recipient. All of you are so much more than your academic achievements. Those are amazing as well, but you're so much more than that we've heard today. Today I have the honor of presenting on behalf of Workers Credit Union our annual scholarship to Rahim Rashid. As an industry, credit unions were formed on people helping people. I can't really think of anybody better than Rahim to receive this scholarship this morning. It's his service to others and his dedication to leadership, learning, and community that was striking as I reviewed his scholarship application. Each recommendation supported Rahim's accomplishments. his dedication to his family, his local community. He's always willing to lend a hand to classmates in the classroom that might be struggling. And in addition to that, and with his love of STEM and computer science, he's given opportunities to innovate for his family's businesses and his local mosque, undoubtedly making things easier for both. It's refreshing to see our young people see a problem, understand the problem, and look for opportunities to implement solutions. It is clear that Raheem has done very well in this. This fall, he will begin his chosen major of computer science at Boston College. Workers Credit Union wishes you well in your studies, and we look forward to seeing what you will accomplish in the future.
Holy moly. Let me go back to my script so I don't get crazy. Because people who know me know. Somebody said, yeah. Okay. So I just want to wrap up by 2 quick things, if I could get through. All right. Okay, so I just jotted down a couple of notes here, a couple of phrases. Here on purpose, quality humans, not the destination but the journey. Self-reflection, not conforming. Who you are when no one is looking. Inspirational parents, resilient, sources of encouragement, living examples, academic champions. Share your appreciation, overcoming challenges again and again. What encourages you? Use your gifts, legacies, memorials, students, leaders, athletes, eyes wide open, self-expression and authenticity, figuring it out. We've won the lottery. Good people helping others, leaders not in the making but now, impressive students and impressive humans. We can learn by bearing witness, relentless pursuit of positive change, testimonies of what is possible, restored faith in humanity, dedication to desires and dreams, leaving society better than they found it. Teachers, problem solvers, team builders, presidents, captains, vice presidents, chiefs, volunteers, members, editors, theater performances, academic, athletes, medical workers, scientists, engineers, champions, both awarded and unrecognized, helping people and the planet. Service is a way of life, restoring balance, passionate and skilled, caring for even the smallest living thing, taking ownership, staying curious, being open to opportunities for growth, living fully and being present. We're going to be okay if we just keep getting up. So that's who you are. Thank you for being who you are. And thank you for sharing this planet with us and making it better. On behalf of the Scholarship Committee, the Chamber Foundation, the students and their families, I'd like to thank the businesses, organizations, and individuals who contributed to the Scholarship Fund this year. Let's have a round of applause for our premier sponsor, Roll Stone Bacon Trust. And I love what Nicole did earlier, where she's like, the parents need to be awarded, and like 5 people stood up. Knock it off. You guys, stand up. Parents in the room, on your feet, please and thank you. No, for real. Yes, yes, stand up. Thank you. Thank you. Because without you, these amazing beings wouldn't be here, and it is your influence that got them to where they are today. And to these incredible, extraordinary students, thank you for making the world a better place. All of you for joining us today. Thank you for sending off our high school seniors to a promising start at college. And once again, congratulations to all the scholarship winners. You are hardworking individuals. That's what it says. And I'm like, that word doesn't even contain. And we wish you all the success as you enter this new phase of your life. At this time, I ask that the students who received the scholarship please come up front for a group photo. Thank you.